we're talking more predictions, because this is where it's at. If you can predict the outcome of when you're going to be releasing towards your target, when you release toward the target, if you know that you're going to nut it, and you know that the ball's going to start in the direction that you want it to, and you're set up in a way that you know the kind of curvature that you're going to get if you feel that particular release, well, predicting that way allows you to get to the zone, to get to the flow state. So this is where the most amazing golf lies. We need to get you to that level. So I've got a couple of exercises right here that you can have fun with. One, you're going to need some protective glasses. Well, I'm just going to use my sunglasses, which are from Torch. And I've been using these all season. You've seen my video on that from the golf show at the beginning. And there's not one scratch on these things. I've been using them like crazy, like 12 hours a day all season. And the comfort is uncanny. And I've seen, you know, the Oakleys very, very similar to this. Now, these, by the way, just to remind you, are 100% Italian made for $160. So best value for the best sunglasses on the market. I mean, so I'm using these. Now, we're going back to just cutting tees, right? So I put a couple of tees in the ground, and these are my dandelion stems, and I get set up, and I want to feel like I'm set up in a way where when I give my arm club unit to gravity, I am letting gravity make a nice big circle, and I'm letting that circle cut the grass. So it's cutting the grass in the same spot all the time underneath my right shoulder socket. So I bring both arms together to take my grip, and I allow that to move around its center, which is the sternal notch, where the two clavicles join the rib cage. And now I'm going to locate where the bottom of that arc is. So for me to get through both tees, I need to feel like the bottom of the arc is right between the two of them. So I'll catch the first tee, bottom out there, and catch the second tee on the way back out. So here we go. I'm letting gravity make a circle and let the circle cut through both tees. Fantastic. So now, you need to predict what's going to happen. And many of you go, well, golf ball. Well, by the way, that's not dog poop. It's my dog poop bag that I used to pick up some apples this morning. And we have, you know, apple season just about to start. And you have these little apples that are on the ground. So I'm going to put this apple on a tee here. And I can see where the tee is. And I know that the only way to that tee is through this apple. Because in order for the sole of the club to cut the tee, the apple has to meet the center of the club face first. So notice where I'm hovering it. I predict that when I let the sole of the club cut through the tip of the tee, that the apple will meet the center of the club face. What's an apple going to sound like? You know, what's it going to feel like when it compresses? And what's going to happen when it hits the center of the club face? That's part of my prediction process. So I predict there's going to be a splat, and there's going to be a puck, you know, when the thing explodes on the club face. And there's going to be a very specific sound to that. So my task is to cut the stem of the dandelion, and I won't stop until I get there. And I will get through the apple to get through that dandelion stem. So I let gravity track my arc. And there you have it. Cut through the tee, and the ball meets, or the apple meets the center of the club face. So how about when you put the ball in a tee, now we have a ballistic dandelion, right? So if I cut through this tee, it feels like the ball's going to meet the club face. And when the ball meets the face, it has a very specific sound, very specific feel, and it has an exiting sound as well. So if I cut the stem of this dandelion, I'm going to feel, hear, and see something entirely different. So I'm letting the weight of my arm club unit track the arc through the tip of the tee. through the tip of the tee, through the tip of the tee, and off the ball goes. So I just tickled the tip of that tee, and that ball just got nutted in the center of that club face. So how about if we do this now? We'll put a cup on top. So I know there's a ball there, and I know basically how high the tee is. So basically about halfway up the cup. So I'm going to aim halfway through the cup right here. So I'm going to let the weight of my arm club unit track the arc. I'm going to let the arc bring the sole of the club through the tip of the tee right about there. The ball should explode out the other side of this cup. Let's see what happens. I'm listening and hearing and feeling all that good stuff. Here we go. Ha ha! How about that? Nice shot. So, the ball exits through the cup. And there's where my club met the tip of the tee. So I cut through the tip of the tee, and the ball exploded because of the loft. They exploded up the top of the cup right here. That's what prediction's all about, everybody. So it's not about make sure you hit the ball. The ball is not your target. When you cut through the tee in the direction that you want the ball to go, that's where the prediction lies. What is the task that you're using? So you notice I'm using my ball and a string. That's my machine. I'm lining up my machine with the tip of the tee, which you notice stayed right there. And what is it that I want on the tip of that tee? Man, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did, and we'll see you next week.